All right, y'all. Hey, Daniel Lynch here, coming to y'all. Check us out. Lynch's Lawn and Fence LLC.com, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Hey, so we're going to go over today. And talk about right here what to do when you're building a fence. So a lot of my videos are pushed towards like helping fence contractors, helping homeowners, helping our guys, in training. So, a lot of times you want to, I'm not mad at you. If you decide you want to go out and build a fence, I will give you every step it takes to build a fence. You can see a lot of times on some of the videos that we do, you can see that our guys will actually show you out in the field, hey, this is how you do this. Hey, this is how you do this. But I just want to make sure as a homeowner, if you're sitting at home at night and you're going, hey, I want to build a fence tomorrow. So what to do when building a fence? So this will kind of get you prepared so you can go, hey, if I want to decide I want to build a fence, then I can make sure these steps are followed to actually start the fence. So hey, like I said, this is not gospel. This is just what I've come up with. This is my research. This is my 20 years of experience and how to do it. What I think is the steps to kind of do the leg work before you actually go out and put the fence up, obviously, okay? So like I said, nothing set in stone here. Like I said, everybody comes up with their own thing. That's me. If I was a homeowner and I was gonna try to figure out how to build a fence, this is how I start. Hey, so number one is the first thing is, of course, it's always in life, whatever you gotta do, make sure you plan accordingly. All right. So when you say plan accordingly, go line you up some help for sure. Make sure, line you up some help for sure. Figure out what you're going to do, what kind of fence you're going to do. Make sure you, everything's good. Everything's perfect. You figured out, hey, the humps in the ground. Just plan everything accordingly with what you want to do and make sure that, you get all your steps in a row, you get all your ducks in a row. That way, whenever you get out there, you're rocking and rolling, you're going forward with it. So plan accordingly, that's a little easy one there. The second thing that I would do is, before I got too far in it, I would know my corners, know where my property corners. Knowing your property corners is a big deal. Because if you don't, this right here, this can end up to where, especially with a homeowner, this could actually cause a lot of problems for you. Number one, it's going to cause you a lot of problems because you're going to have issues with the neighbors if you put the fence on the wrong side. Fence contractor's not that big a deal. Somebody goes out there, and we haven't done many of them, maybe 2 or 3 of them, maybe have put them in the wrong spots, and actually it was because the property corners were actually marked wrong. So, if you put it on, you as a consumer puts the fence up and you put it on in the wrong spot, don't get to the corners actually set on your side of the property. Then what's going to end up happening is you're going to have to take that fence down. Now, for a fence contractor like myself, yes, it does cost me money, but we have the stuff to actually do it with and the manpower to knock it out. A lot of times when you as a consumer put a fence up in the wrong spot, then you got to tear the whole thing back down. It's just time, and you just don't want to waste time. You may only been given a certain amount of time on this earth. Don't want to waste it. So make sure that you know where your property corners are. Pull the string. We at Lynch's Lawn and Fence like to set it in just a little bit, give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room there in case there's anything can happen. So we like to set it in. So we're generally a 1 to 2 inch set right inside the property line right there, set the post on the inside. That way there's no problems. Even if you do per se something, a pin moves a little bit, it's not straight up and down, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So that's the way we do it. But hey, know your property corners. Know exactly where your property corners are. Generally speaking, you're gonna have like a 3/4 inch pin that's in the ground. It's gonna have a hole in the top of it, and 9 times out of 10, it's gonna have a little bit of plastic orange marking ribbon around that deal. So dig down there and you see some orange ribbon, that's probably gonna be it. Find that little 3/4 inch steel rod, and that'll be it. Try to set everything on the inside of that. Some people say set it on the property line. Hey, if that's what you want to do, that's up to you, but it don't give you any wiggle room in case something, when you're getting the yard, your yard graded or whatnot, when they're building the house or whatever it is, that pin can move either way. I mean, as you can see, if this is straight up, straight down in that pin, if that pin gets shoved this way, you've already moved that thing 3/4 of an inch. Same thing. If it's shoved that way, you can tell it that once that pin gets moved, that's probably a little bit smaller than what the pin would actually be. But if it gets moved, I mean, you're moving your property line. You're moving it in, you're moving it out, especially if it moves it away, that can cause problems. And some people don't. There's some people out there that can really give you fits with that. So make sure you know your property corners. Hey, so the next thing is check with your local MPC, check with your local permits office, check with your local zoning. Try to find out exactly. We're just going to check permits, check zoning. Check permits, check zoning, and then there's going to be check HOA. That's a big one right there. I mean, so the permits deal, when you check the permits, you want to make sure with your permits that, building setbacks, things of that nature, zoning, to make sure you can actually build the height of the fence or the style of the fence that you actually want to build in. And then, of course, this is a big one here. Check with the HOA. HOA governs a lot right there, and they're going to tell you what you can and can't do. It's kind of amazing, but I mean, they do. So, like I said, check with that HOA. Permits office, check zoning. Some of this stuff can be different. It depends on where you're from in the zoning and permits right there. But I'm sure if you check either one of those, they're going to tell you exactly what you can and can't do as far as height and size and building setbacks and things of that nature. Then, like I said, also check with your HOA. That's a big one. A lot of times HOA, even when you're putting a fence up and everybody in the neighborhood's got the same style fence and you want to match what they have, and sometimes HOA still wants a drawing of the fence. They want to know what kind of fence it is. They want to know who's doing it. A lot of times they want to actually see the estimate without the numbers, actually know that contractor is putting up a fence that matches the style that's in there and the durability as well. A lot of them, some of them let you just throw anything up. A lot of them, they don't do that. So check that out. Make sure that's right. Number 4, we're going to go over this. This is a big one right here. A lot of people don't do this right here. Actually, that's not checked. Call 811. All right, 811 is going to be your underground utilities, trying to get those marked. That's a big deal. I see a lot of issues with that. A lot of do-it-yourselfers, do-it-yourself DIYers. They'll go out there and try to dig a hole in the ground. Boom, they cut the electric line. Boom, they cut the phone line, cable line, whatever. Call 811. Now, do realize this, though, okay? Just because you call 811 don't mean that they're going to mark everything that's out there. So, utility companies, when they mark, they'll mark everything that goes to the side of the building. That's it. They're going to get everything that gets to the building. Anything that runs out from there, they ain't doing it. So, like here on our building here, they're not going to. Ours is overhead, so nothing's going to be marked. I know at our house, our meter is out by the pole, so they're just going to mark out by the pole. They're going to get everything to their service. Your personal service that runs from their electricity to your building, they're not going to mark. Same thing with gas. Gas company's going to get you to the meter. After the meter, it's on you. If you got something run around your yard, hot tub, generators, gas cookers, anything like that, they will get you to the gas line, to the actual where they provide it to, and then your service after that is on you. So that's a big one right there. You just got to pay attention to that. Now, your fiber optics and stuff like that, they're all going to be marked. They'll mark everything that goes into the house phone. Same thing there. So just make sure you call 811. If you got any questions, call your local electrical contractor. Most of those guys will come out and mark. And then most of your plumbing companies will actually come out and mark your gas line. Those are the 2 biggest things that I would be aware of. But make sure you call 811. That can get really, really dangerous really, really quick. And we've been on both sides of that spectrum. So make sure you call 811. And then the last thing is this is really, really big to make sure that you do it right and get it done is have the proper tools. Have the proper tools and materials. So it's nothing more frustrating to getting out there, getting in the middle of everything, getting it all ready to go, and then I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have what it takes to actually get the fence done. So you got to call a buddy or you got to go rent something. So just make sure you pre-plan. There's a lot of stuff out there on the internet. Some of our stuff will actually tell you what you got to actually have to do, what style of fence. But make sure you have the proper tools, and then make sure you have the proper materials. Like I said, it's nothing more frustrating than being out there, setting a fence post and golly, I ain't got enough concrete, or I forgot to get my chain length, or forgot to get my pickets or my 2x4s. So just make sure you have the proper tools and the proper materials. We'll go over one more time what to do when building a fence. Plan accordingly. Obviously, you need to do that. Make sure you got everything in line. Make sure you have plenty of help in line. Like I said, make sure you got the amount of time that you need to actually get it done. Know your property corner is a big deal right there. That can cost you a lot of time and a lot of money if you don't get it set right. Check with your permits and zoning. Like I said, that's a big one there, because some of these, if you don't do these right here, the cities or the municipalities that you live in will actually fine you until you get the fence up to where they're supposed to be, or you take it down. So I've seen that happen before. So just check with that. Of course, you don't want to make your HOA mad, because if you do that, you might be kind of looking for a place to live, or they'll do the same thing to you and make you take the fence down. So that could cost you a lot of money. That goes in accordance with plan accordingly, okay? Fourth thing is call 811. Don't forget to do that. That can get really, really dangerous. I promise you, you want to do that. That's something else I would like to touch on too a little bit. As of right now, we don't drive any posts at all. There's a ton of information out there on the internet about driving posts. I would just tell y'all, just like I explained to you, when you drive a post into the ground with a post driver or anything, post hole diggers, you're digging through dirt. Chances are you're going to find it. If you were digging close to a gas line, I would say there's probably about there's probably about an 8 and 10 chance you won't hit the gas line, knowing if you dig it, straight like this with the gas line versus digging across the gas line with it running here. So, but these guys are out there driving that post, they ain't got a chance. If that line's not marked and it's a service line and it's coming off of there, and you drive down that deal, you will go through that. If it's electricity, you will go through it. You will feel it, and it will hurt, and it will be dangerous. That's why it's really, really hard to recommend driving anything. Not saying we're not going to go to it. We're still working out the kinks on it. We're doing a lot of our own testing and stuff like that. I would say as a homeowner, I would not drive any post into the ground, not unless I just knew absolutely, I'm out in the middle of a hayfield and I could drive a T-post and there's nothing there. But if you're in your backyard in a little neighborhood, be very, 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 very careful, because that right there can get that electricity. That electricity ain't gonna feel good once you go through it with that post. So just remember that, and then make sure you have the proper tools and the materials to do the job. Go over a checklist, check it 2 or 3 times. Make sure you have the stuff. Like I said, there's a ton of information out there that actually you can put a fence in, and it'll actually give you the material list that you need. So just make sure you do all that. So we're just kind of trying to help the homeowner out. It really ain't all about us. Yeah, we do install fences, we sell fence material, but really we want to make sure that the industry we're in, everybody's educated, and then you want to decide you want to go out and do it. Hey, I'm happy for you. It just gets you knowing stuff like this is going to help you get a better product out, help you with your fence. And hey, some of you guys are really, really good at it. Some of you are probably better than most fence companies. So this will kind of just get you through the process. If you have any questions, Daniel Lynch here, Lynch's Lawn and Fence, 318-459-7837. We'll help you out any way we can. Call us. If you got any questions, we'll do our best to get them answered for you. If we can't get them answered with us, we'll let you know. We'll find somebody to get it answered. But I will want to bet you with the years of experience we got, we're going to get it knocked out for you. You can find us online, Lynch's Lawn and Fence, LLC.com. Find us on Facebook. Find us on YouTube and X. Like I said, call us 318-459-7837. See you on the next video.